Today, Chef Kush is going to rank supermarket staples into always, sometimes, and never buy. Not only that, but we're going to get him to prove his arguments. Hello, Chef. Hello, Normal.
Hello. Hello.
Baz, I have shared the list of supermarket items with Kush previously. I have no idea what he's going to do, but what I have asked him to do is, in typical school exam style, show his working.
Yes,
and
Kush.
I get extra time like in exams.
Yeah.
And our first category is underneath the cloche.
Go on, you go for it. Spices, all right.
Spice jars.
Jars.
So
okay.
jars of spices, whatever the
embarrassing.
brand, purchased from supermarkets. Why are you making that face, Baz?
Because I'm going to have to rank this one. I always buy it from a supermarket.
Okay.
And I know I'm wrong in doing so.
Why?
I buy them, I use them all, and then I leave them in my cupboard knowing that I'm going to fill them up one day. But I never do, and I add it to my order.
And then you
A
replace
month
it.
later, and I replace it and have to recycle the glass.
Kush, where are you ranking supermarket spice jars?
Never buy it from a supermarket.
Ever.
Ever. Simply the fact that it's far too expensive.
So we are the polar opposites straight away.
Prove it.
We're going to say they're very similar spices, the contents of, right? Coriander seeds.
Yep.
Used heavily across South Asia, Southeast Asia. That's a 100-gram bag. That I think is about £1.30.
Yep, this is a 20-gram pot
For
about a fiver.
£2.50 for
£2.50.
20 grams.
So what's the maths on that?
That is an 862% increase between the jar and the bag.
And the design of the jar shows you how much they're expecting you to use of a coriander seed.
Yeah, but does
Shake
that...
it. 1, 2, that's what they're expecting you to use in your dish.
Yeah, because the other way of these jars, over-engineered, is open.
Yeah.
But because you've got all that mechanism, it's a third empty, right? That's 2 fingers, no spice in there. So you're paying for plastic and glass and all the packaging and the shipping for spices that won't be the same freshness, are far too expensive.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, every supermarket sells them in different sizes. So how would they benefit in your cupboard?
Also, when I'm following a recipe for a curry and it says, okay, you need all these spices, I go, what have I got left? And I've got hardly any. I go to the supermarket. By the time I've bought all the spices that you need for said curry, this is an expensive curry.
It is. People think that you can't buy these at supermarkets. The little Sainsbury's up the road
The World Food section
has
a lot
all
of
of these in stock in these bags, like provincial supermarkets do as well. So it's not hard. So I buy a bag, decant it into the same tubs that I have at home. They sit like that in my drawer.
Yeah.
And I've got a drawer of all my spices and seasonings.
My problem with buying them in this mass is I don't use them that regularly. I'm always nervous of how quickly they lose their flavour.
It's
so
only
I don't commit.
It's only 100 grams. And because most of them are whole spices, like peppercorns, right? A pepper cannon, the ones that we use, we'll take that whole bag. Yeah, why buy that, decant it and just throw it away?
Yeah, true.
So, yes, they do lose their freshness over time, but if you're going to cook with spices, very few recipes will say anything less than a tablespoon of this, a tablespoon of that.
Yeah.
Does something like this count? Because this is a tin of paprika that we all swear by, and I know you like a lot.
Yeah, so it's not a spice jar, it's a tin of spice, right? So that is premium, it's fantastic. They sell a sweet or a hot, it's fresh, they're proud about it. It tells you exactly where it's from in Spain. It's got literally the date and the stamp, so you can Google that and find out when it was made. That is a million times better than that.
But it's so much more convenient than that.
It is, but all you do is order some tubs, glass or plastic, cork lids, whatever you want, and buy that and then decant it if you want. Do you know what I do? I decant it, take this little label off and stick it on. Then I know that that's that.
Baz, having ranked supermarket spices as an always buy, are you willing to change your ranking?
If I'm honest, I've known about this for a long, long time and I haven't changed my habits. I know my ambition is down here with you, Kush, but the journey for you to get there is quite a long one.
Category number 2, under the cloche.
Ooh, Pestos. Ranking wise, I think I'm bang in the middle.
Sometimes.
When cooking for myself, I always make it from scratch.
Why? Because you deserve it.
Such
Because I'm the most important person.
Hear me out.
Right, save yourself.
If the kids want it, We have a premium pesto that we'll use every now and then when it's what do you want? And everyone wants different things. It's an emergency pesto.
So I'll rank these. I always buy them and I never buy them.
Go on, please elaborate.
I always buy the red, I never buy the green.
Okay.
So green pesto relies on the freshness of basil, right?
Of course, yes.
That lovely taking you to Italy summer.
Yeah.
You lose all of that when it's mashed into a jar.
Yes, agreed.
And it's stored and it's pasteurised and all that vibrancy goes.
Yeah.
Red pesto relies on products that are already preserved in oil, sun-dried tomatoes, right?
Oh,
and they have all that umami built in from the sun-drying process and the oil. So all that is blitzed up sun-dried tomatoes, maybe some tomato paste that's also preserved in the tube, and then the same nuts, cheese and oil as that. So all this is a paste of flavour bomb ingredients ready to go. And it doesn't lose anything by being turned into a pesto. Basil dies when it goes into a jar.
Have you prepped anything to prove this?
Yeah. Pizza toasts.
Yeah, classic. Oh, well, I love that for the kids as well.
Yeah. When you can't get out, but you can pull out a jar, you can make pizza toasts. See, it's smooth, spreads easily, it's got cheese in there, it's got seasoning, that, some traditional baby mozzarella, right?
The best, yeah,
The
brilliant.
best.
Brilliant.
You pop out to your garden and pick some basil.
Brilliant.
That's a simple Sunday lunch, and it benefits from having that on it. Yeah, it would taste horrid with that in it. I also use this through pasta, obviously. Mix this into a chili con carne.
Yeah, wicked.
Through lentils, really easy to go. Mix that through hummus, put it into a nice bowl, bit of olive oil on top. People think you've made sun-dried tomato hummus. No, you've made red pesto hummus.
Really interesting.
And you might notice I've only toasted
You
the
have
top.
lovely and soft like a floppy bottom.
Yeah, because who wants a hard bit of crust on your bottom gum?
Are you a convert, Barry?
Well, it's still the same, isn't it? It's still sometimes. I don't really consider this as a pesto. I don't even think about
I
it
hadn't
as a
even
pesto.
thought about it. To be
But
honest.
actually, you're right. That makes a lot of sense.
Let's move on to number 3. Lift the cloche.
Go on.
On number 3. So we're talking 1 calorie spray.
What does that mean?
Doesn't mean anything.
1
Oils.
calorie, how?
So I think we had this in our home once, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Now, I think we invested in one of those spray bottles with a way of going, that's to replicate what this is doing.
So where are you ranking it?
It's off the scale.
Yeah.
Never in a million years.
So it's never.
Yeah. I think it's an absolute waste of manufacturing, plastics. It's 51% oil, then water, alcohol, lesser thin natural flavouring, and xanthan gum. So the only reason it might be 1 calorie per spritz is half of it is calorie free. So it's almost a con.
Have you actually used it?
I've used it.
Yeah. How
And-
did you find it?
No, I'm like you.
Don't get it.
I have a little spritzy oil bottle
Yeah.
if I need it, or just use a squeezy bottle.
Yeah.
Or put a tiny bit in and rub it around with a kitchen cloth if you
Yeah.
want a thin film.
A lot of use cases for this is to be able to control calories and still fry in oil in a pan.
You're right, its calorie control is massive.
Yeah, but by controlling your calories, then you're ingesting all the other stuff that you might not want to.
Okay, well, we talked about this enough. Strong opinions. Can you back it up?
I can. So we're gonna pan fry some salmon. Got some preheated pans, stainless steel, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do one with 1 cal fry light. How many pumps?
Well, it says
5.
5, so go with the packet instructions.
5. Salmon in. And I've got this, a lovely spritz bottle.
Yep.
Lovely dispersion, look at this.
Oh, great.
I don't need 5, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Salmon in.
Now, we're obviously not saying that's 1 calorie per spritz, but it is a way of controlling
Yeah.
the amount of oil you use.
Exactly. Also, it's even dispersion. This is just lovely, a nice mist. And I think that's one thing, if you want to limit how much oil you're going into food, you need to know where it's going. And if you didn't want to pan fry,
Well done.
if you didn't want to pan fry fish, bake the fish.
And in fairness, that stuff isn't doing a bad job. Like, it's cooking it in fat.
It's cooking it in
fine.
fat, but it doesn't add anything, and it doesn't taste nice at all,
No.
right? I wouldn't want to build a sauce in that pan.
No.
No.
Visually, no difference. They're
Why?
probably cooked the same, both non-stick. But half of it disappeared. You're spending money and you don't need to on a spritz bottle. That is reusable. And there are ways to limit the amount of oil you need. Get your pan hotter, buy a better pan, use baking parchment, use the oven more, use the air fryer.
Point very well made.
So both of you were already agreed at the beginning of this, so no need to see if you've been convinced, unless somehow you've ended up changing your mind for the positive. No. Great. Let's move on to number 4 then.
Let's go.
Cool.
Number 4, under the cloth.
No.
Bottled lemon juice.
I'm going to say straight away, sometimes, because I buy it every year on Pancake Day.
Yeah, that makes it. I use it as a seasoning.
It's the one time we're dousing things in lemon, loads of pancakes, loads of lemon.
Yeah, but you want to taste fresh lemon on that one day.
I know, but I think it's because I grew up with it.
So Kush, where are you ranking bottled lemon juice?
I'd never buy it, just because by buying that, you're losing out on all of the other things that a fresh lemon gives you.
Yeah.
The pith, the rind, all of those things. And a fresh lemon you can use across a week by just taking little slices off and putting it back into the fridge.
To be clear though, I never buy this particular one. I buy the one that looks like a lemon.
Oh yeah, the Sif stuff or the Jif or whatever that's called now.
Yeah, those are quite fun. Yeah.
Doing some digging, some pros for people who buy this. Convenient, long lasting, cheap and easy to keep in the fridge, useful for small amounts in marinades, dressings, sauces or drinks, and reduces waste if you only need a splash.
I don't think it's a valid purchase for things that you've said before, like a lemon lasts in the fridge.
Yeah,
Like you need a little bit, slice a bit off, put it back in the fridge correctly. Either a bit of cling film across the cut surface, on a little plate with a touch of water, so oxygen can't get to the cut surface. But there's nothing wrong with buying it if you can't find a fresh lemon.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, I found this salmon that was sitting out. Do 5 drops.
It came out very quickly.
Came out very quickly. This is how I use a lemon at home.
Okay.
Oh, that's a sharp knife. There you go, look. That's all the lemon I need for this bit of fish.
Okay.
And cuts through the fat, lifts the dish. Delicious.
But I'd say, even though it is just lemon juice, it's almost like lemon flavour rather than fresh lemon.
And yeah, you just don't get any of the essential oils by doing that. By even spritzing the back of it, you get all that citrus oil out. Or rim your glass, your G&T with it. I'm pro fresh lemons because seasoning is the last thing. It's the first thing that touches your mouth.
Yeah.
So it needs to be nice.
Very compelling arguments. Baz, are you changing your sometimes?
Yeah, it's not a hard one for me to go from sometimes to never, because sometimes it's just a tradition that I have. Take it out, doesn't matter. I've already got the lemons, so I'll use those for pancakes.
I think I'm definitely going to change mine from a always buy to a never.
Whoa!
Because I just used to buy that thinking, this is just lemon juice, I'll use it instead of fresh lemon juice.
Best bit of lemon is the zest.
Yeah.
I zest everything. Why you zest too much?
Number 5.
Yes! Oh, lazy garlic.
Pre-chopped garlic in jars, such as these.
Sometimes.
Barry.
Sometimes. I think we're always looking for an easier way of working with garlic. Either be a tube of garlic puree, or be that.
I was a sometimes, and then I changed to a never. Once I bought that, it's almost in a weird brine, and you lose a lot of the garlicky flavour.
Yeah.
I just felt like I wasn't getting much garlic from it.
Well, this is going to be a good learning for both of you.
Where are you ranking it?
So I never buy this.
Okay.
What do you think's in that jar? 5 seconds, go. It's got 2 things in it.
Garlic and vinegar?
It is white wine vinegar and dried garlic. So that's dried garlic that's been rehydrated in vinegar and put
That's
into
why
a jar.
it tastes of vinegar.
And then you have to put it in the fridge once it's open.
And that's why it doesn't taste of garlic much.
So dried garlic, shelf stable, sits in the cupboard. Vinegar, shelf stable, sits on the shelf. Put them together, you have to put it in the fridge. I don't know why.
I need to read some labels.
That was dried garlic.
That's dried garlic. And that's what it smells like.
It does smell
Punchy,
like dried,
aggressive.
almost. Oh my god!
In vinegar.
Do you have a solution or an alternative?
Yes, I buy frozen garlic.
Oh,
But not that one.
interesting.
I buy 400 gram bags of crushed garlic. The ingredients, 100% garlic with no added preservatives. And that's what comes inside.
Oh,
And they say that's worth 4 cloves of garlic.
so it's a paste block, a frozen paste block.
It's crushed, mashed garlic. And once it's defrosted, it looks like this. So it's literally a paste.
Gotcha.
So imagine putting it in a food processor and just running it. It turns into that. So if you're going for like a pasta dish with beautiful golden garlic through spaghetti,
Has to be fresh.
you buy fresh. But if you're making garlic butter to go on some semi-stale baguette, or you're putting it into the base of a ragu, a sauce, whatever you want to do, let's go bold. About a tablespoon, you mix that.
And that I would say is lazier than that garlic.
Yeah, it's lazier, and yes, it does take freezer space up, but you know that one blocks 4 cloves, and I've never seen a recipe that needs less than 4 cloves, right? And instantly, it's dispersed through. Yes, it might spit a bit in hot oil because there's a lot of liquid coming out of it, but just once you get used to it, so I defrosted this I just took it out of the fridge this morning, put it in a bowl, defrosted, or at home I ping it in the chef mic for about 40 seconds, or if I CBA, I throw it into the hot pan with other things and just put the lid on it, and it'll defrost quickly, and just stir it around. Cheers.
We're here now.
Little nibble.
That's raw.
Just tastes vinegar.
I put that on there going, oh my God, I put too much raw garlic. That's going to be horrific.
It's not raw, is it?
Barely, it's a little bit garlicky.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's mostly vinegar.
Mostly vinegar.
Okay, try the other supermarket option, actually.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Garlic, butter, salt.
Simple.
Barry, you're a sometimes buyer of lazy garlic. Have you changed your perspective?
100%. I'm never going to buy that lazy garlic. I'm going to buy a much better, lazier garlic.
That frozen stuff is a great lazy garlic. I'm converting.
And when you find that in the freezer, they'll have the crushed ginger next to it.
This is brilliant, and we've got more.
Bring it on! Woo! Chicken.
Wings.
Chicken
wings specifically.
This specific packet of chicken wings.
I don't really buy chicken wings that often.
I buy them for very specific occasions.
I buy them every week.
Yeah, so we chose them because we overheard Kush mention this in planning for another video. So I want to know why. We've already given away the ranking. Kush always buys them.
Every week I buy 2 of these identical packs from this supermarket because that's where I shop.
Why? And then prove it.
So it's the most inexpensive way to get chicken protein into your body, other than drumsticks. However, every single wing is covered in fat and skin, and crispy skin is the best part of a roast chicken.
Amen.
Therefore, go straight to the source of all the skin.
No doubt, it's delicious.
Yeah,
but it's
and I love wings. I will marinate them in the day, dump them into a bowl. It's hot sauce, a bit of yogurt, some lemon juice, not from a bottle, chicken powder, smoked paprika, garlic powder, salt, pepper. Mix that all together into that same bowl at the same time, whack in some flour, toss it, put it in the air fryer, and 35 minutes later.
Oh, okay. So you're not even making
wow.
a dredge, and you're just coating it and dusting it and then frying it rather than having to dip or anything else.
Yeah, because it's at home. Like, I don't want to have to coat and then set up a dredge station.
Yeah.
As long as your bowl is wide enough and you go in with enough of the right flours. So I use potato starch, corn flour, and regular all-purpose plain flour. Toss it through quickly and give it 25 minutes at full whack. Give it a really good toss.
Can I?
Another 20 minutes, yeah. I have the drumette bits because my wife prefers the flats.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Wow. That is a fantastic crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
If I was cooking for myself, just myself,
Yeah.
I could see myself doing it. I've got to see, I have to test this from the family. See how it goes down with the wife and kids.
When they're done like that, they almost taste like gourmet wings, but with the simplicity and the accessibility that you could put those in front of anyone, a group, and they would get demolished.
I think the secret is it's not buttermilk then a dredge.
No,
No, it's not.
It's a
yeah.
thick
what I mean.
marinade
Yeah.
with the flour goes into, so that's what gives it the colour.
Cool. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Try that next week.
Wherever you buy them from, make sure they're split. You don't want a 2J,
Okay.
because 2-joint wings don't cook as evenly in an air fryer. And you can't toss them evenly. So
Great
these ones are just
tips.
cut.
I think I've gone from a never ever to, it might be sometimes.
Ready for one last one?
Another one.
One more. So for the final one, we might be covering old ground. Not sure now, but lift the cloche. You may get a different reaction.
Jarred spices.
No, we're talking rubs. Barbecue rubs. So pre-blended and combined spices for the purpose of rubbing Barbecue meat.
I've only ever been gifted these sort of things.
Right. Yeah.
It's like when people are on holiday and they go to a gift store and there's a specific rub from an area, it'll be a treat, and because I'm a foodie, they're like, oh, you'll like this. So I've got lots of a variety of interesting rubs. I don't think I've ever bought one from the supermarket.
Okay.
So I'm a never, I guess.
I never buy them
Expected.
because the volume that I'd need them would be a remortgage of the house. Like, I like to make a bigger batch. I like to customize it to the protein that I'm using. I don't put salt into my rubs. As soon as you put salt into a rub and you lightly dust the food, you've added your salt. But what if it needs more spice? You can't carry on adding more. And conversely,
yeah, sure.
pulled pork needs to be caned with salt. It's such a big, dense muscle. You can't keep on adding more rub.
Prove your point.
Okay.
Yes!
Cool. But yeah, so making your own, you can customize it. We've got brown sugar underneath and then a range of spices, smoked paprika, chili powder, cumin, mushroom powder, garlic, onion and black pepper, right?
Brilliant, okay.
And then all you do is whisk it together. Oh.
Yeah.
What you result is that.
Okay, it's almost a sandy texture.
A sandy texture, free flowing, store it in a tub like that, but also don't just use it on meat. Make barbecue mayonnaise. Mayonnaise, barbecue rub, hot sauce. You whisk that together, Barry, and I'm gonna get you some meat to dip in it.
Oh, if I must. Whoa, Kush, wow.
So we've got a bit of brisket, not traditional with this rub, but I still do it, and some very meaty pork belly ribs, right? So seasoned with salt,
Yep.
dry rubbed, left in the fridge overnight, and then smoked with a bit of oak till they're done in terms of temperature and texture. Wow. Nice bit of fatty pork.
You're right. If you were using
Brisket flat.
if you were using this, you'd barely cover one piece of meat, would you?
Exactly. Like barbecue rubs are there to add flavour, like depth. And remember, it's going up against sitting on a smoker with wood for a long time, and you're pairing it with really strong flavoured things. So by making it yourself, you're saving a load of money, you're customising what you're making, and when you're putting the love into smoking something, put in that extra 5 minutes to make your own rub, the end results, all they're going to taste of is the protein, the rub, and a bit of smoke. So if one of those rubs is a small packet of something that you haven't had, all your love into, your guests will ask, oh, it tastes great, it tastes great. And you don't want to show them a jar, you want to show them a massive tub.
And say, I made it.
I made that.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, big time.
Barbecue hot sauce mayo.
Cool.
Well, there you go. Here's Kush's final rankings for always, sometimes, and never buys from supermarkets. Baz, any particular thing stood out to you?
Lazy garlic, I've got to change my ways.
Yeah.
And chicken wings, I've got to start buying from the supermarket. Often, weekly even.
Well, if you've enjoyed that, found it useful, please give us a like, and also it will let us know to make more of these. Let us know in the comments more of this kind of stuff, more ideas, and we will get to making them. Marvellous. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Chef.
Brilliant.